Good good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTraining.com. It is 9:20 here on September 12th. I End of month moves have been pretty big. I want to say I'm gonna go back to the end of August. I think there was a big move. It's like I'm like looking at this chart. I'm like, why does that not look like a daily chart? Because it's not a daily chart. Uh, end of end of July was big. What is going on here? This is the end of July here, and the first day of August, there was a huge pullback. And that pullback is actually at targets coincidentally here um, right now. So as we move into, I don't know what I'm referring to on the end of the month, but as we, I think it shows to show I'm tired I am, but as we move into these targets, we're either going to do one of two things. We're going to continue to creep up towards higher time frame targets at 66.98, or we're going to get another deeper pullback here. So let's pay attention to this daily sequence. There was a traditional that traded on the 20th of August and then retested here at the beginning of the month. We're now through that target. That's what I'm referring to, rollover. We're now through that target. I'm like losing my mind right now. We're through that target, and the high to high is going to be an important level that we hold. So moving forward, the high of August 15th to high needs to hold. Now, right now, that is the previous daily high of the 10th, the 38% retracement, and definitely a level I would pay attention to. The 50% retracement is 95.54 here in the ES. This extension will trade next week. If it trades today, that's going to be something else. If we take out the overnight low, I do think we'll get that 50% retracement, which would be a 65.54 half, 65.54 half. Now, what we're holding in the sequence we're holding, I'm going to get rid of the extended session, and we're just going to look at a 5-minute chart of the prior day and watch that sequence higher. As we opened yesterday, um, we were coming out of this traditional in the ES. It was the low of Tuesday to high. We completed that target, and that target was, I'm going to back up here, 65.78. This red line was my premium level yesterday. It needs to be moved up. I'm going to move it to 66.21. But as we went through that, we actually began holding the high of Wednesday too high. We never could even breach that retracement. We traded the 38% at 11.45. We're basically flat. In the overnight session, we tested that 50% retracement. Okay, so we traded the 38, we never completed targets, and then we came back to the 50 overnight. Upon a completion of this target here at 66.02s, you're going to want to watch that same anchor new high here today. And that will be a program viable setup after the completion. If we take out the overnight low, we're gonna get that deeper daily pullback to 65.55, and that's really all I'm gonna map out right now. So an expected continuation higher into the 66.02 targets, and we could very well go past that. Once that completes, we will have Wednesday's high to high be the setup. Once that completes, that'll be the setup. But right now, this RTH high of Wednesday to the 11:30 high of the prior day is the current fib frame. And if we break it, we're going to get down to 65.55. For the NASDAQ, backing out here, we have an unfilled profit target that I've been mentioning now for a few days at 24,076, and that is from the Friday pullback. Yesterday, I'm going to go to, once again, get rid of the extended session. Yesterday, I talked about this anchor from 330 to high being the morning trade, and it was. It was really the best trade all day. And then once that completed, we literally did nothing. We did nothing. We completed that target. We pulled back. There was like variations of traditionals here that we're holding, and that just goes to show how strong this long trend is. The halfway back from the 1055 low held, we made a new high. We filled it. Then we traded the halfway back from the previous swing low, 1020. There was buyers there. In the overnight session, in the frame, the fib frame for the day, now put on the extended session, is that same anchor to the new high, and you can see that overnight low is right at that 38% retracement. Since that traded, we basically inverted fair value gap, blah, blah, blah. We've just been sequencing higher. That is your frame here for the NQ. We could come back to this 38 no problem, or maybe even trade the midpoint. The midpoint of the prior day at 23,943 is also the extension 50% retracement from Wednesday. So that's probably your best support level here for the NASDAQ, 23,943. We are just in a continuation series. This 24,000 level, 24,040 level has, been sold into a few times. Upon a break, we have a higher time frame completion. I'd be a little careful going long above 24,076 here today. We could definitely get a reversion back lower if we complete that target. So I would not take any longs above 24,070 here today. If we get above there and we're cruising, either wait for a short setup or sit it out. And if we trade lower, we're going to trade in that 23,943. Now oil, which I kind of just got lucky with my trade last night as far as like buying the low of the day. Like I didn't buy the exact low, but I literally bought this candle at 2:55 New York time. And then just set some limits higher, and higher we went. But there was an extension yesterday that ended up really just holding us lower. Where was it? I think it was from the low here from 4:40 a.m. to low. That was the extension that held us. And then as soon as, oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Sean. I have to just realize I am change my window. Streaming software. There we go. All right. So this extension here from 4:45 a.m. this anchor is what traded. And like I was trying to go long oil yesterday, it wasn't working. I had an alert set at this negative 61 after I identified that this was the extension. We swept into it. And as soon as we went above this fair value gap, I just started buying. And then we ended up trading a little traditional and then just absolute rocket ship the rest of the night up here. Up, I mean, we're only up 90 cents, but we are up 90 cents on the day. But from lows to highs, it was over a $2 move, which is pretty big for a $60 product. So to be honest, that trade's over. That trade no longer exists here this morning. The only thing I'll watch is that this 3:20 a.m. extension too high. That lines up with the midpoint of the prior day. So we have the midpoint, fair value gaps there. Pay attention if we get down to 63s. We're trading that 38 right now. I wouldn't chase it above. And in fact, like I'm actually, I have a tea time at 9:40 Chicago time, 10:40 New York. So I'm not trading here this morning. But I'm still going over this stuff with you guys. Moving on to gold. Gold continues to trend higher and higher. I think we took out highs again. Or no, did we? Did we take out the all-time high last night? I'm not sure. Let me check real quick. No. We're up on this negative 61, which is kind of interesting. Yesterday, we came out of a higher time frame traditional on the back of the news event in the morning. We swung lower. It was quite sloppy We swung lower, traded the 50, traded the midpoint, swung back down into the higher time frame setup. Once that happened, fibs reset from that low. We traded this 50% retracement here from 10:50 a.m. The target didn't complete till the overnight session at 9:15. We continued all the way up to negative 61s. This next traditional has technically broken, and it looks like we've run into is just that same old setup from yesterday. That same anchor, the 935 low to high. There was an attempt made at the next traditional here at 4:10 a.m. You can see we bounced and then failed into the lower setup. That lower setup gives us a new upside target of 3705. 3705. So I'm going to set an alert up there. And what you can look for is just halfway back longs from this low. Like we can continue to trade higher here and just look for traditionals from this low. So that's what I got for gold and going back to the other products, gold and gold and oil. I'm gonna get rid of this extended session here. Let's see what we're doing on the indexes as we open. All right, so this is what, as we make new highs here, this NASDAQ, you're going to need to bring this up to the new high. That 38% retracement, 23,978. The 50, 22,952. The ES, the 50% retracement, 65.78. You could probably draw this to the new high as well. And then 65.81 half should be 65.81. So basically, Wednesday's high, just draw at the high, and in the NASDAQ, draw this 330 high to high. Those are your sequences. If those break, we're just going to get a deeper pullback into levels I mentioned. But that's all I have here. I'll catch you guys on Monday. I am basically taking the day off, going golfing, and I might be back for the close. If there's anything interesting, I'll jump on the Discord. Mike, take care.